call the meeting to order at 7. Record the members present.
Wilson.
Here.
Simmons. Babcock.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Morris.
Here. Item number 2 is discussion and possible action to accept the resignation of Don Simmons of board seat number 2.
Sadly, a good board member has moved out of our district, so he no longer serve, and he has issued his resignation.
Make a motion to accept the resignation.
Second.
Wilson.
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Statement of consent agenda. The following items may be approved in their entirety by the board upon motion made, seconded, and passed by a majority. Any member may request a separate vote on any or all items contained in the consent agenda. Anybody have any questions about the consent agenda?
I'll second it.
I'll make the motion then.
Wilson.
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item number 5 then is informational reports, no action. A is the superintendent's report.
All right, go through a bunch of things as quick as I possibly can. The election season's coming up on us. Special elections are on the 28th this month, so make sure you go vote. A lot of runoff elections there. But primary, what I have on the agenda here is to bring your attention to state question 801. There's a bunch of state questions already on the agenda right now. There's 5 on the election for November. Some are referred by the legislature, some are by petitions or whichever version. But state question 801 is the one that will deal with public schools. If passed, it will amend the state constitution to allow the school district to use the 5 mills building fund for operations. While I like the idea of having that flexibility, I think in the long run it'll hurt schools, because we'll start tying up those funds for day-to-day operations. 801 does nothing to the general fund. So if we have a building problem and you've exhausted all of your building money in your building fund and operational costs, how do you go fix something? Because now you're in violation of the general fund. So it's a big question. We did have Senator Murdoch and Representative Newton here this morning, and they addressed our teachers, and that was a discussion that I had with them. And my thoughts, and I told them it was a concern that if it's not managed properly, while I like the freedom to have that, it would give me concern if it wasn't managed right. So that'll be on the agenda. Summer maintenance projects. We have had a whirlwind summer. If you kind of back up and look at all the things we've done this summer, a lot of just maintenance items. Man, I don't know how we got everything we did get done. Mr. Davey just got the last door hung this morning in the bathrooms. He's got some work to do on the finish, so at some point go by and do all the bathrooms now doors. The girls' restroom already had 3 doors on it. We added a 4th door and cladded the wood doors that were already there with the aluminum, so they at least match. We've got a little blocking and cleanup work on the aluminum to go. But Mr. Davey hand built all of that, so very talented man. Brenda's been very busy with the inmates, painting and cleaning and scrubbing, and all the floors were completely stripped down. We've got a different wax this year because the last one just didn't quite hold up. So we're going to see how this one works and evaluate it next year. OSSBA conference, you're all registered. You should have received an email on the 23rd through 26th. Smart Campus, we are completely set up with them. They came last week. US Foods came last weekend, met with Robin, working through that process. We've got a meeting on the 31st with Smart Campus. We don't know exactly where it's at yet, they haven't told us. So we'll see how that goes this year. The freezer had a hiccup after getting the new compressor installed. They no longer made that 3/4 horse compressor, so they had to go to a 1 horse compressor. And when they did, some certain kind of tubes that regulated the pressure wouldn't work with that big of a 1 horse compressor, so they had to go and change the TP something valve. Anyway, it's working now. It took a little longer than expected, but it is working.
I hate to go
Yes,
back
sir.
on this consent agenda, but all those policies, did we approve all those in that deal?
That one policy, yes,
When, just now, or?
in the consent agenda as a whole.
Huh. Well, I made a mistake on that, I didn't wanna vote for that at all, but I misread it.
After we go back in and remove an item, which item do you want to talk about?
G.
Do I need to do that, make a motion to remove item G from the consent agenda and discuss it?
The appropriate motion would be to rescind, a motion would be to rescind your vote to approve the consent agenda. Then you need a second to vote. Then a removal of that item, then approval of the consent agenda with that item.
Okay, and I'll make the motion to rescind vote on the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yeah.
Reed,
Is that my name?
Yes,
Yes,
everyone.
Oh, yes.
Morris.
Yes. Okay, then, I'll make a motion to, remove item G from the consent agenda for discussion.
Second.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Okay. So,
And then now you'd be on item 4, items removed.
okay, item 4, the items removed from the consent agenda, discussion, item G, discussion, conduct the policy on medical marijuana.
So now can we talk about it? or-
Yes.
I apologize, I didn't realize what that was. So what is that?
It gives us the ability to control how we deal with someone who walks in with a medical marijuana card. Without it, we have no ability to do anything. It happens. But we have no ability to have a say.
From reading that policy, it seems like it should work.
One of our biggest problems is while the state has approved medical marijuana, it's still illegal federally. We receive federal funds, so it puts federal funds in jeopardy, just like it did with Colorado and all the other states. It is not legal federally. This policy in a nutshell says, we don't touch it, we can't use it, we won't discriminate against an employee who has it, but they're not allowed to use it on
So-
campus.
Says the district will provide a private location for a caregiver to administer medical marijuana to students at school. That to me says that it's gonna be on campus somewhere.
We can't keep it out. You're dealing with also a federal law, which we don't know how that will work, If someone comes in with a medical condition, you don't get to say no because it's a medical condition. Now you're.
Can we
and that's-
table it and do some more thinking on it? I mean, I'd like to talk to our attorneys, see what's, I don't like that at all.
This came from OSSBA.
Well, I'd like to check it out myself. 'Cause I don't like anything about it. I don't care, everybody will have a medical card before it's all said and done. Everybody's self-medicating anyway.
Not me.
This would, all, the thing with this, is it lets us have the control of say, instead of them just come in and say, well, I'm gonna be here and I'm eating my, special brownies.
I see what you're saying, but to me, when you're saying that the district will provide a private location at school, that's just, I mean, I don't know. To me, we're trying to keep kids off drugs, and they were saying we're gonna bring it into school now, if they got a license, which, I don't know how hard that's to get, a card or whatever.
This is what this, this is where we're stuck.
We can table it by chance?
Yeah, oh yeah, you can.
We can table it,
Still,
yeah.
can we?
The good thing about it is the smokable marijuana is not authorized.
Yeah, you can't smoke on campus, that's a, another.
So, smokable marijuana is not legalized anyway, you can get it in
Gummies?
chocolate, gummy bears, chocolate bars, patches.
What if a parent, if somebody walks in, they drop a gummy on the floor, next thing you know, you got a kid finding it?
But that's why it says that we will provide a place that parent, that custodial, which is defined by the law, where they bring it in, they administer it, we don't touch it, we won't touch it, we won't
They
hold it.
can't carry it on their person.
Yeah, the kid can't have it. That parent has to bring it, notify us, we tell them where to go to administer. It hasn't been decided.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Because I just now thought about it. If we have somebody that is adult age, how does that work?
There's one more reason why we need to table it.
We did talk about that when I was in that meeting, which I remember, because, let me see, it does address it.
Was there a problem with tabling, or is it something we have to do right now?
There's no, I mean, you can table it, it's just, everything is so fresh.
That's what,
If by chance, I mean, we're gonna have medical marijuana cards in Oklahoma in 2 weeks. We're starting issuing, if I remember right, the date. What do I do middle of September if someone walks in? That's my question. What do I do?
well, what if we have, I mean, we just have to take a week or 2 weeks, or however long, we have a special meeting or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we can do
fine.
that.
I mean, I don't feel comfortable with this at all yet. But, whatever.
Oh, there's problems all over. This is going to be an issue for a while. Just realize that we don't get to go against the state law.
I think depending on the parent, if they've got an 18-year-old who's got a prescription for this stuff, they're gonna wanna control it.
Yep.
The
Okay.
vast majority of good parents.
Then,
But also too, I believe that we need to have their, both doctors, that maybe the medical file, and have that on, in their file now.
Oh, they would have to.
They do.
Yeah, we already do that comparison anyway. There has to be proof.
Yeah. Everybody good with tabling it then till for another week or two to research whatever? Everybody good? Yeah, I will make the motion to, I need to make a motion to approve.
To table. You've already approved the consent
And
agenda.
then
Now you're-
I rescinded it whenever we come back, right? I rescinded our vote. So we need to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended with item G tabled until further research can be done.
Second.
Yes.
Babcock,
Yeah.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Now,
Sounded like a really
Gee.
I just can't believe we're talking about marijuana in school. It just makes no sense.
Welcome to our new world.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back there.
Now back here. So now back to the superintendent's report under network updates. We do have our new internet service. I think I already told you about that. We're up to 500 megasecond now. So we're in compliance with CETA standards, and don't ask me what CETA stands for at the moment. But we are in compliance with their minimum recommendations, which 500 megs is a lot for the district. So with that, we had to switch one item, our firewall item. That's what we bought the FortiGate. That is now in and installed. It's a multi-function item. It actually, one item replaces 2 devices we have. It protects us from the outside network, and it also is our web filter.
So we got the problem resolved about out in the ag building?
That's later.
Oh.
So it's in, it's running. As we begin to upgrade, we can go with the FortiGate or some other switches and devices that are a little lower cost, but still enterprise grade. And as we upgrade, we'll have more control and more security over everything, with the intent eventually to do what's called a VLAN, which is a virtual network, and all the devices are separated in how we tell them to separate. So when kids bring a phone or something in here, and they want to use our Wi-Fi, well, that's perfectly fine. I can turn the speed of the Wi-Fi down so far it's actually useless to use in that, or I can allow it to only go to certain places or be used at certain times, or we can really dial down. We still haven't controlled it yet. We've got a lot of building to do. I'm in the current process of filling out some other E-rate C2 funds that will give us about $8-9 grand of government funds to replace a lot of our items. We just have to, we'll be at 20%. So we have to pay 20% of whatever the funds are. So I think that's a good deal. Athletics in the Red Bluff, the kids have been coming up for cross country, been running, been out. I don't know how many numbers. I know I see kids every night. So that's coming, but the 5K is coming up. And at the current moment, as talked to Coach today, we're on track to already have more sponsors and more participants have already told us they're coming. So it's going to be a pretty good chunk of money for them to start the year with. And it's growing, and that's what we're after. Because that's a big fundraiser for athletics. You're up.
Pass those down so you guys can see them if you want to. We started our teacher in service today, professional development.
That is
Finish it up
accepted.
tomorrow. That's an example of, it's not an example, that is what we're doing, what we did today and what we're doing tomorrow. You'll notice that he already mentioned that Representative Newton and Senator Murdoch came in and spoke with him this morning. And then the biggest thing that they did today, I don't know if it's the most important or not, but the biggest thing, took a big chunk of time, was the security and active shooter presentation by Jim McBride. Was very good. I had not even seen one of those before like that, and it was a very good presentation to me. Some of the teachers were like, oh my gosh. So they saw some things as, to be aware of and watch for with kids and everything that I think that was very good for them. Everything else that's in here is stuff that was either required or stuff that we need to make sure teachers are aware of as we go throughout the year so that everything goes smoothly. Whether it's filling out forms properly or addressing kids in the classroom with behavior issues. So that's what we did today, and tomorrow we're doing CPR and different things on the back and talking about evaluations. So it just gives you an idea of what we're doing. It's going smoothly, so hopefully it'll continue to go that way. Summer school, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. This summer, we had 4 different classes that went on. We did driver's ed, Mrs. Weber taught that, she had 4 students. Mr. Weber did computers, he had 11 students. I taught microbiology and had 9 students. And then we did elementary reading for our RSA, which is the Reading Sufficiency Act, to get our students that were struggling some extra help. And we had anywhere from 2 to 4 kids every day coming in with Miss Wilson working on that. We did it either in the morning or the afternoon, depending upon whether we had swimming lessons or something that day. So it went very smooth. I enjoyed it. I had some kids working really hard. I even had some of them say, "We don't usually work this hard. You should be glad we're working this hard for you." So they did a really good job. We are in the middle of pre-enrollment. Most of it was last week. I still lack a total of maybe 7 or 8 students that haven't come and done enrollment with me, because I make all the kids from 6th grade up come in and talk to me on an individual basis, and set up their schedule, because I want parents, if they want to, be involved, because some parents like to help choose their electives, and make sure that especially my high school students are on the right track and they know about credits and how many they lack and what they need to get in order to graduate. So just a few high school students haven't done that, and a few more middle school, but we're on the right track for that. We are also getting ready for our back to school bash, which is tomorrow night. You should, maybe if you've been around different places in the community, this has been posted. It's also on our doors, letting people know we're doing that. Tamara also sent out a text message, I believe, letting people know, especially we're doing our first mandatory drug test that night. We didn't send it out in that verbiage. We just put mandatory testing on it. So trying to alleviate a little bit about that, but we are doing that, and it's going to be food and fun, and they get to see some of their friends for the first time that they may not have seen them for a while. So it starts, the physicals start at 5, but the back to school bash itself starts at 6 o'clock and lasts till 8. So we've got that going on. Online professional development. OPSRC, this year, since we are a member of them, their community, I guess is what you call it, online community, has given us the rights to get on and do online professional development for things such as FERPA, bloodborne pathogens, and about 13 other state-required professional development for teachers. It allows us to free up some of our professional development time here on site. Teachers do that on their own time, whether it's during their plan time. Some of us did it over the summer, because anything you do from July 1st counts towards this year. So some of us have all 13 of those done already. Others will be doing it throughout the year. They have till September 1st to get it done. So that freed up a lot of time. It also freed up some possible money on as far as having to get people to come in or do anything like that with them. So that was a good deal for us. The last thing that's on there is the NWEA benchmarks and the removal of other programs. The NWEA is our MAPS testing. This summer we had a professional development on that so that teachers would have time to start preparing, that that's what we were going to do during this school year. And it is just a benchmark that will happen at the end of every quarter, telling us where those kids are in their reading and math skills, so that we know if they need even more help, intervention strategies, or whatever throughout. And so all the teachers have been trained in that. They will continue to get training throughout the year. We will get that feedback, and it'll tell us, for instance, if they need more work on fluency or more work on comprehension or whatever it is with reading. Same thing with math. Is it just the basic information that they're lacking, or are they having trouble with computation stuff? So that will give us more feedback and what to do. And through doing that, along with a couple of programs we've been able to drop some of the things that were just kind of there when we were using them, such as Study Island and STAR and things like that. So in the long run, we're saving some money and improving what we're doing. So.
Alrighty. Item number 6, general. A is a presentation of 2018-19 accreditation, determinations of summer school accreditation.
Just met with the RAO last week. Everything was perfect on our accreditation, which I was very happy to have everything correct. Didn't have to have any what they call holds. Oh, you forgot this one piece of paper. So we are 100% accredited for this year, without any deficiencies all the way across the board. And when I looked at the state list, there's not that many schools, about 100 out of the 500 are accredited without a single deficiency. So I'm pretty proud. That's a lot of paperwork, and I have to rely a lot on Patricia and Tamara and Ms. Sheelite to keep all these little pieces all year long and put them in a big book to be looked at one time. So I'm very appreciative because we had good reviews all year long. We did very, very good.
B is discussion of application for 2018 OSAG Safety Equipment Grant of $345.
The Oklahoma School Assurance Group had applied for a massive grant, a $250,000 grant, and as a member of OSAG, we had an opportunity to get in on a portion of that, and we've been awarded $345 for our district for security upgrades of some sort. So we'll get to fill out the application in September, and then we'll get the approval or not approval and move forward at that point. So just kind of wanted you to know that we've gotten a little bit of grant coming in.
What's that?
Every little bit helps.
Yep. Item C, discussion of possible action concerning the 2018-19 student handbook.
So you have that version. Ms. Sheelite worked very diligently this summer. It is in yours. That's last year's. It'll flip in your documents. And I do try every board meeting to put the documents in agenda order for you, just so you know. So if you keep going, it'll be right after OSAG. And you can pull it out. Yes, it's whole time. Just keep going. Plus.
Easier for you to take that and look at it. That's it. That's it right there.
So just to save space in
You'll
your
take
room.
it out and look at it. We'll go with it.
There it is.
Take it out.
Changes from last year.
Some change in some of them that needed a change in wording, but the biggest thing is a change in closed campus and what was the other thing? There was one other thing. Oh, the student parking was another thing that was changed on it. It just cleaned up more than anything other than those two things.
But I was aware of those things that you were working on, but I saw the little diagram, and that worked for you, it worked for me.
Yeah,
And then-
right now it's illegal, so it has it in there about illegal substances. That moment of silence, they get to salute the flag and do the pledge of allegiance or anything?
We do that every morning.
They
too.
do? Okay.
Most of our kids are very, very good at that. Very respectful.
Everybody like the policy? Good.
I'm good with
With changes? Then I make the motion. We accept the handbook as written.
Second.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item D is discussion and possible action concerning fiscal year 19 fundraisers, see Appendix C.
So you have that spreadsheet at the moment of them. These are the ones we've had before the posting of the agenda. I received a bunch more today. And we'll have them on next month's agenda. Eventually, the goal is to have all this within the first 2 months. So we'll have to deal with it again.
Yeah.
I had a question, what, selling pies at horse show?
Yes,
We're gonna have a horse show?
At the horse show.
At the horse show?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see the implication.
I make a motion approval.
Second.
One thing you'll see, as this goes on the spreadsheet, you'll see the month. If you look in your document version, you'll see the month. So you'll know what month you got that and it went through the board. So we have a running. So I just wanna make sure you see that.
Before we move on this, blue and sausage gold sale,
Yes.
I think they ought to have that more than just once a year.
He does it twice.
I didn't see it listed on anywhere else.
He may not have turned
Yeah,
in the same.
3 times a year wouldn't hurt.
I think they can only do it twice with them. Their blue and gold is very specific about what you do, and I'm pretty sure it's only twice a year that you're allowed to do it. I know it used to be.
No, I know next time they come around, I'll buy more.
They'll be selling Monday.
I'll
Who-
be interested
I lost
to
your
see
motion in a
how long
second.
it takes them for,
I second.
knock on my
Who
door.
was the motion?
Shannon.
Okay.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item E is discussion and possible action concerning closing campus for lunch.
There's been some issues with kids just not doing things they should, so it's probably a good idea that we close campus and don't allow kids to leave during lunch.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item F is discussion and possible action to purchase Type to Learn.
we just recently got notification of 100% that third grade up is online testing for state. In discussion, this is only gonna get worse. So we need to have something to use for students.
How much is it?
300?
300 and something.
370?
Just a program?
Yeah, it'd be a yearly fee, it gets everybody all the way up.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item number 7, building, A is discussion of possible action concerning the renovation of the ag building.
I didn't mean to put an action, this isn't an actionable item. Is meant to just give you an update. Next time you've got a chance, go out, the LED lights are out, the roof is gone, or the falling down the ceiling, that's all out, and it's a beautiful place. The next thing I'd like to do is move forward with some of the thoughts we had, going in and painting and just just make it look nice inside there.
What was the deal about the door on the west side?
I've got the engineering plans back on what we need to do, and I've sent it to 2 companies out of Oklahoma City. Have not been able to get someone locally that has the ability to contact me back yet on it. So we're needing a contractor that can do that kind of project. So I don't know what it's gonna cost to move forward with that. So I'm looking for a contractor right now. And I'm not having very much luck. I guess everybody's busy working. I'm not very hungry. So we are looking for a contractor to do that. We will be putting in a new drop ceiling in the concession side.
Concession stand over there.
It was just totally obliterated, and I had whoever just take it all out. It's gone, so we'll go back and put a new one in.
What do they use it room for right now?
I'm sorry.
What do they use it room for?
It's the restrooms, and they use it during the sale concessions and during
The what?
the
Stock show.
stock show. There you go. Thank
Yeah.
you. So it's used for that. Eventually, I'd like to change some things in that room, move the door, and redo the bathrooms to make them handicap accessible. That'd be something pretty simple to do, but that's down the road. But just one thing at a time. But take a look at it out there when you get a chance. It really looks neat with the old ceiling.
All right.
Back to the way it was in my
No
day.
action taken.
Whatever, you didn't have block back then.
Was that?
I was gonna say,
Playing
if they keep
basketball
up
in
with
that
this
building.
marijuana deal, everybody would just be going together, it'd be like the
Yeah.
60s and everybody. Hey, man!
Item B is discussion of possible action to purchase Unify AP bundle.
This is the internet you were asking about, fixing it out the ag. We've been trying to do it a different way and finally realized we can do it a whole lot quicker and cheaper and prepare for the future. And this would basically put a wireless bridge instead of running a cable, and we're gonna put a wireless bridge up. And with this unified version, it's where we're headed. So these would not have to be not gotten rid of. They'll be able to be used with the new switches and devices that we move to. So this would get us in 2 bids. A 10-pack would completely redo the entire district, and it'd be right at $2,000, or a minimum is a 5-pack, which would be $600 for a 5-pack. So, and then there'd be a need to buy injectors, a POE injector to power them. They're about $10 to $15 a piece. So.
So was in for 5 to 10.
I went ahead and asked them to give me 10. quote me for 10, that way swap them out and I'm ready to go. If I get E-rate funding or whatever for the switch, I can turn that on and immediately control my Wi-Fi. That way I'm not waiting on anything else or only able to control one, swap everything out. We do need a couple APs around the district, because right in the middle of the hall, wireless doesn't work, so if they got a laptop, they have a very limited connection, using a laptop in basically the middle of all the halls, because the APs that we have don't reach. So, team will get us completely done. We'll have a little bit more cost in running some new wire. That's in labor, but that's already budgeted in the Bank Central bid for this year. So I would like to go ahead and get the 10, but we need 5. And the main thing is to get the ag building back up. But if we get 10, we can, I can put Bank Central on and go. And both of these are government bids, government prices. And they are on one's a TIPS contract and one's a state contract, I believe, for the pricing. So SHI is the cheapest price.
I guess the only, maybe I need to ask this, well, I do need to ask this, if we're, our Wi-Fi right now, do we have any control of it as far as what can get on it?
No.
So that would be someplace anybody can tie on, like a family parking lot, if we had that, that would be the only problem. They could get whatever they wanted to.
They're restricted by our web filtering.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're on our web filter no matter what.
Okay.
The control is what, when we go here, I had it set up at my last district where when you wanted to use our Wi-Fi, you had to put in your username or your information, and we had it would generate a report. Kids put in fake names all the time, so we blocked their phone or blocked their device or whatever device, and then they come, why am I not working? Well, quit making up fake numbers or do what you're supposed to and agree to use it appropriately.
So which one do you recommend?
SHI. Obviously, because it's less.
We want to say 2. He wants that and he wants the 10.
I'll make the motion.
For 5 or 10?
10.
30. 4. Everybody agreed, let's go to the next one.
Just cool it. Wilson.
Wilson.
Say yes.
I'm reading, hold on.
Well, you made the motion.
Yeah, I didn't see that though. Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
I just, it says it's owned 100%, minority owned, women owned business. What's that got to do with anything?
They get government funding for having that, and they have to advertise that they get that funding.
Item number 8 is finance. A is discussion of possible action to contract with food voters for federal programs.
I thought we had already done this. We had approved her to be the alternate federal programs authorized representative, but we didn't approve her contract, so this would approve her contract for this
I'll
year.
make the motion.
Second.
Wilson.
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. B is discussion of possible action to approve Prosperity Bank purchasing card resolution.
We currently have a $7,500 limit, and when we hit July, with the trips and everything we're using, we hit that limit in purchasing power. So it created an issue at Coach's Clinic. Got a temporary limit increase to get us to a board meeting, but I'm asking that we fill out paperwork to raise our limit to 15,000 instead of 7,500. Also, we're going to need it because I'm turned off the Fuel Man card. As I was reviewing the bills from last year, I saw a bill that we bought $40 in diesel or fuel, I don't do diesel, and and we pay $50 in fees for that month. So I thought that was a little ridiculous with Fuel Man, and we don't, it helped Weber. Weber can carry the one car on all his trips and not have to carry two, but not have to make sure he's at a Fuel Man place or not pay all their fees.
Make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item 9 is personnel. A, discussion of possible action to accept any resignations received since the posting of the agenda.
There are none.
Item B is discussion of possible action to adjunct Brooke Meyer as adjunct instructor for anatomy and physiology for the 2018-19 school year.
She's our career tech instructor, and if any of our kids by chance happen to take that, this adjuncts her. It's a career tech thing. We did it last year too.
I make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Excuse me. Item C is discussion and possible action to contract with Sheila Glover for special education.
She did our special ed last year. The special ed director, she was here today, getting us ready to go this year, and this is just getting her contract as well.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Item D is discussion and possible action to approve extra duty contracts on Appendix D.
So, we approved the stipend amount in the previous board meeting, and now that we know where people are going to be, here's what position they're holding, or what extra duty they're doing there. It's just putting that stipend to it.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes. Excuse me. Item E is proposed executive session to evaluate the superintendent in accordance with provision of Oklahoma Statute 25 through Oklahoma Statute Section 307B1. I'll make a motion to go into executive session at 7:50.
Second.
Wilson,
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.